Greetings, dear viewers, greetings from my channel. I hope you're having a great day. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. Snippets from the life stories of Linda Phan and Drew Scott, a path of love, creativity, and creating a life together. This can be just copied and pasted into your video workflow. Please let me know whether you would like it structured for teleprompter style, chapter titles, SEO descriptions, or voiceover time. Selections from the biographies of Linda Phan and Drew Scott style. Documentary/narrative. Opening. Soft music begins to play. There is a love story that feels refreshingly authentic in a world where celebrity relationships frequently appear hurried, short-lived, or based on flimsy foundations. It is based on kindness, creativity, shared hobbies, and the desire to literally create a meaningful life together. The story revolves around Drew Scott, one half of the popular television pair The Property Brothers, and Linda Phan, the creative director whose warmth, humor, and enthusiasm not only won Drew over, but also influenced the course of their journey together. Today, we look at snippets of their lives, the times that shaped them as individuals, the life events that led them to each other, and the chapters they are now writing as spouses, parents, and creators. Title card: A Life in Excerpts. The lives of Drew Scott and Linda Phan. Early years of Drew. The backyard builder growing up in Vancouver, Canada, Drew Scott was a child with an endless imagination long before he won over millions of fans on the HGTV network. With 3 boys, large personalities, and lofty goals, the Scott family's home was a bustling place. Drew was inseparable from Jonathan, his identical twin brother. They scurried about making up stories, making comics, putting on impromptu plays in their living room, and constructing things behind the home out of leftover wood. Drew has always been captivated by the concept of possibility. The possibility of something ancient becoming new. That a room could be changed. That a life could be purposefully planned. These seeds of change were sown early on and would develop into a passion that would last a lifetime. Drew was more interested in business and performance, whereas Jonathan was more mechanical and magical, literally trained as an illusionist. He was a huge basketball fan. Acting was his passion, and he cherished the notion of creating a life in which entrepreneurship and creativity coexisted harmoniously. The twins' resolve was genuine, despite their frequent jokes about having too many ideas and not enough hours in the day. They bought their first investment house when they were 18, before either of them had a television credit. It was renovated. They turned it over, and the groundwork for their future dominion was subtly established in those dusty walls and restless nights. Linda's formative years. Ingenuity at every turn. A young girl named Linda Phan was growing up in Toronto, Canada, on the other side of the nation. Color was always around her, in notebooks, markers, art projects, and small handcrafted items that showcased her endless creativity. Being the youngest of 4 sisters taught Linda to watch, to create, and to find a light in the small things. Her family's house was a hive of warmth, laughter, and love. She was the type of kid who could create a story out of a bunch of stickers or a cardboard box into a fortress. Her inventiveness was deliberate rather than ostentatious. Gentle, resilient, her creative interests would eventually develop into a career passion for branding, storytelling, and design, and she learned how to tackle problems with kindness and inquiry. However, Linda's humility may have been her most distinctive early quality. She didn't think she was destined for stardom. Her only goals were to create beautiful things, assist others, and use her ingenuity to make the world a better place. She had no idea that these subtle talents would influence not just her life, but also the life of a specific tall, gregarious builder. The evening that their paths met, there are times that change people's lives without much fanfare or fireworks, almost passing for regular evenings. For Drew and Linda, their journey began during a Toronto Fashion Week event in 2010. Linda was in charge of the event. Drew was attending with buddies. There was a lot of music, conversation, and high spirit in the room, but Drew saw something odd. A woman who smiled effortlessly, whose presence was notable not because she was trying to attract attention, but rather because she exuded a serene, genuine warmth. Linda was her name. Their initial exchange was kind, inquisitive, and somewhat lighthearted. Her grounded vibe drew Drew in. Her lack of pretense, showiness, and attempt to impress was quite refreshing. She was just herself, and it was the start. Gentle giggle later, Drew joked that even though she didn't particularly enjoy sushi at the time, he knew she was unique when she agreed to join him at a sushi restaurant. However, something told Linda that Drew was worth investigating, so she did. That initial interest? It expanded. Initially, quietly. Then suddenly. An extended distance start when they first started dating. Drew's career was taking off. Property Brothers was rapidly gaining popularity around the world. Timetables were erratic. The filming never stopped. Distance, however, did not deter them. They exchanged countless texts. They had hopes, goals, and ideas in common. For the sake of spending a few days together, they flew across cities. They developed their relationship while they were separated by having deep, humorous, and occasionally drowsy late-night talks. During those times, they found genuine partnership in addition to compatibility. Drew appreciated Linda's inventiveness and empathy, as well as her ability to bring joy and calm to any space. Linda respected Drew's hard ethic, politeness, and ability to maintain his composure in the face of growing recognition. They were equals in every way, complementary, in agreement. Together, we are stronger than we are alone. Linda joins the family business as their bond grew. So did Linda's participation in Drew and his brother's imaginative world. The Scott Brothers brand was growing quickly, and the business required someone with Linda's unique combination of storytelling, strategy, and artistry. It wasn't nepotism or convenience that led Linda to take on the position of creative director. Rather, it was her true talent. She created strategies for branding. Fan events were shaped by her. She organized philanthropic activities. She oversaw innovative advertising campaigns with a distinctly Scott Brothers aesthetic. Her ideas were simple but humorous. She led with compassion yet firmness. She contributed wisdom, modesty, and artistic unity to a company that was expanding more quickly than anticipated. In addition to becoming lovers, Drew and Linda also became visionaries together. The idea, a second years of development, Drew realized he didn't want to live another day without Linda as his future partner 6 years after they first met. Additionally, he had a unique plan. He spent months crafting a proposal that embodied all they valued: heart, creativity, and intimacy. Drew wrote a song. He practiced it in private. He captured it on tape. He awaited the ideal opportunity. On that day, Drew asked Linda to marry him, took her to a secluded location, and played the song he had composed for her. Linda cried. Drew sobbed. Like the two of them, it was tender, passionate, and deeply personal. Yes, she replied. The wedding that had a storybook feel in the midst of olive trees, candlelight, and their closest loved ones. Drew Scott and Linda Phan exchanged vows in the Italian hills in May 2018. They didn't have a lavish ceremony just for the purpose of being lavish. It was sincere, thoughtful, packed with unique details that showcased their combined inventiveness. Handwritten vows, a clothing that was made to order, a supper outside under the stars. In the balmy Italian air, there is joy, laughter, and music. Viewers were moved by the genuineness of their bond rather than the glitz and glamour of the wedding, which was captured in the program Linda and Drew Say I Do. They were not performing. They were merely having a moment of pure, joyous love. New chapters, family, home, and heart following their marriage. Drew and Linda set about creating their ideal home as the first step in the next stage of their life. It might have been challenging to build a room together for two creatives with strong viewpoints. Rather, it developed into a lovely partnership. They combined Linda's love of earth tones, soft textures, and whimsical elements with Drew's appreciation of structure and functionality. The home they built reflected both of them equally. Warm, modern, happy, and thoughtful. It was more than a house. It was a canvas, a haven, a space for future family memories, dreams, and creativity. The journey of parenting fans pondered for years when Drew and Linda would get parents. As always, they were patient, constructing their lives with purpose and consideration. They then welcomed a son, their first child, in 2022. They were changed by the moment. Drew became the loving, attentive parent everyone expected him to be, hands-on, caring, anxious to be present for every milestone. Linda developed into an innately loving mother whose creativity and warmth flowered in unexpected ways. They accepted the busy, lovely craziness of being a new parent together. They gave viewers a glimpse of their journey, which was genuine and never contrived for perfection. Sincere. Their son became yet another chapter in their already extraordinary story, one that was full of laughter, revelations, restless nights, and unending love. Wisdom excerpts. What we learn from their journey 10. Regarding partnership and love, examining Drew and Linda's narrative reveals recurrent themes: kindness, patience, respect for one another. Their love bloomed like a well-kept garden rather than exploding in pyrotechnics. Through modest actions, constant encouragement, and sincere appreciation of one another's abilities, they developed trust. Their connection serves as a reminder that the most successful collaborations are based on open communication, common values, and a desire to develop as a team rather than on showmanship. 11. Regarding innovation and cooperation, both Linda and Drew are artists in their own right. While Linda creates stories and experiences, Drew constructs and modifies locations. Their creative energy complement each other rather than competing with one another. They show us that cooperation is about synergy, not agreement on every detail, about utilizing your own talents to produce something that neither of you could produce on your own. 12. How to remain calm in the face of stardom. Both Drew and Linda maintain a remarkable level of groundedness in spite of their worldwide notoriety, magazine covers, and international celebrity. Maybe it's because they were raised in Canada. It might be their families. Maybe it's the inherent humility they possess. For whatever reason, their attitude toward fame is refreshing. Remain grateful, remain modest, and remain focused on what really counts, which are family, creativity, and serving others. You see more than just a famous couple when you look at Drew Scott and Linda Phan. You see two individuals who met at the perfect time in their lives, two dreamers, two makers, two kind-hearted souls who keep creating not just homes but meaningful lives. From long-distance courting to a romantic Italian wedding, from childhood fantasies to international success, and from creative cooperation to fatherhood, their story serves as a reminder that love is both an art and a construction project. Piece by piece, it is constructed, with purpose, with endurance, with delight. We are also reminded that the most beautiful stories are not those that are told aloud, but rather those that are lived in silence, love, and authenticity. As Drew and Linda continue to write their story, there are still many chapters to come. We appreciate you joining us as we examine snippets of Drew Scott and Linda Phan's incredible life tales. A story of imagination, a story about collaboration, a story about creating eternity together. If you're interested, a shorter version, a script with more conversation timestamps for chapters, a YouTube SEO-optimized version, a revision of the voiceover pacing, I can build any style you want. So just let me know.